When the seasons change, whether that's fall to winter, winter to spring, spring to summer, or summer to fall, I always find myself wanting to change with them, to discover something new or to rediscover something I love. Rediscovering and discovering hobbies in your 20s, when you're not a kid anymore, when you're out of school, whatever stage of life you're at, we're going to be rediscovering hobbies together. The first thing I have been doing is reupholstering the chair I have in my room. So in high school, I took a class called So Fun. Yes, S-E-W, So Fun. They really thought they did something with that, and honestly, they kind of did. Since then, I haven't really done a lot of sewing beyond just repairing clothes with my little sewing kit. So I wanted to take on a bigger project with the help of my lovely, lovely grandma. I could not do this without her. She is incredible. She basically tailors all my clothes for me. We are working on this project together. She has reupholstered things in the past, so she's kind of guiding me through it, and we're working on it together. It has been really fun so far. We have been able to do the cushion so far, and we took apart the fabric for the cushion, and then we used that fabric as a template to cut out the new fabric, pin that, sewed it back together, and now we have a cushion. This is what we have so far. I'm obsessed with the color. It was a bright red before. This just goes so much better in my room. The chair that I had, it was in my brother's room pretty much growing up. When my parents sold our childhood home, I took the chair because my brother didn't want it, and it was a very comfy chair. So yeah, did the cushion. We're now working on the body of the chair. I think that's gonna take a while. This thing that I'm working on with my grandma, I think that's the other great thing about hobbies, is they can connect you to other people, and you can do them with other people and really gain that connection in that relationship through the hobby you're doing. Like I said, we're currently working on the main body of the chair, so let's get into that. All right, so I have the chair right here, and as you can see, we're just in the process of taking apart. Honestly, I just have to shout out my grandma once again because she's been doing most of this. But what she told me, which was interesting, is that you have to find the piece that they put on last. So this outside back of the chair was what they put on last. And so we're just gonna be taking that apart, and they pretty much just use staples, and we're almost done with that. And then as you can see, like, this part of the chair is tucked behind this board, so we're gonna have to take that apart, and then that'll be the whole inside. And then we have this piece, and that's pretty much it for the chair. And then so we'll use this fabric again to cut the new fabric and then sew that together, put it back on, and then we'll have a new chair. Reduce, reuse, revamp, recycle. I'm excited. I'm not sure when we're gonna start working on that again, but I think we'll do it this week. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated with the chair. And so far, it's been a time. It's been fun. Love you guys. The second hobby that I am wanting to get back into is actually painting. And growing up, I loved art class and drawing and painting and just like expressing myself through art. In my adulthood, I've like dabbled back in it here and there. Oh, what was it, like 2 summers ago, I think I really got back into it, and then I just fell off the ball when I moved to my current residence. Really, the last thing I painted, I think, was this landscape from when I was in Colorado, and the sky is just not it. So I still want to work on that, and maybe I will do a little bit of that in this video. But also a few weeks ago, me and my friends did a painting night, and that was so much fun. So I started this, and it looks obviously not ideal, but I haven't touched it since then. So I want to get back into it, and I think I'm going to work on it tonight. I'm actually going back to the same friend's house that I started this at, so I figured we'd work on this. You can like probably have no idea what it is. It's another landscape, and you'll see what it is. Hopefully it will come together a little bit more tonight, but I know it's going to take a long time because it's super intricate. I need to stop at Michael's before I head over there. That's just what we're gonna do. Something's happening. we're just building the foundation, okay? You know how Bob Ross makes it look like there's nothing? You're like, how did he just like create this beautiful landscape when the second before it looked, or like you were like, what are you doing? This, not that I'm Bob Ross, but. All right, hello, good morning. See if it's working. Okay, it's working. The third hobby that I am going to be embarking on is making bread, which might sound weird, but sourdough bread is apparently a big thing that people are just like making now. But my dad has been making it since they moved to the middle of nowhere, and it's really good, and I've wanted to make it. So he gave me some starter. We worked on it together a couple weekends ago, and now I'm going to start making it. I just got back from the gym. I want to do it before I have to log on to work, and I am going to be working from home today, so I can kind of keep an eye on things, just especially for the first couple steps. But chair is still going well. Not much progress on that, but let me show you my picture. So it's taking shape a little bit. I'm pretty happy with this. I want it to be a little more detailed. I think I just need to go deeper with the shadows and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this and updating you guys on this and the chair. So let's go make some bread. Alright, so you're going to start by gathering your ingredients, which is extremely easy since there are literally only 5. First, you're going to need sourdough starter. Originally, I didn't make my own. My dad gave me some of his, so I have no idea how you can start that, but maybe utilize the internet if you don't have starter yet. I like to take my starter out of the fridge at least 2 nights before I make bread, so it can be fed twice, and it's nice and healthy and fermented. And then you're going to need unbleached bread flour and whole wheat flour. My grandma told me real bakers use King Arthur's. I have no idea if that's true or not, but I only use their flour for my bread and feeding my sourdough. Take that as you will. I use Celtic sea salt, and then you're gonna need some water. I used to use distilled, but now I just use water from my fridge and it works just fine. So you're gonna tare your scale, and honestly, a scale is so necessary for this process, so get one if you don't have one already. And then you're gonna put your little mixing bucket on and tare again, and then you're gonna start adding those ingredients. I started with 450 grams of the bleached bread flour. Is it unbleached or bleached? I have no idea. Then 50 grams of whole wheat flour, 60 grams of the sourdough starter, 12 grams of salt, and 400 grams of tepid 75 to 80 degree water. I will say, pro tip though, add the water first and it will keep excess flour from sticking to the bottom of the bin when you're mixing. And then with washed hands, I said yes, washed hands, go wash your hands. You're gonna mix everything together until the flour is hydrated and the clump forms. And then right after this, I went ahead and fed my starter one more time before putting it back into the fridge. And then to do that, I just mixed 120 grams of starter, 120 grams of 95 to 100 degree water, and 120 grams of that unbleached bread flour. Then you just mix that up and put her back in the fridge. And it can stay in there for about 2 weeks before you have to feed it again. But since I make bread about every week, I take it out, usually on Thursday nights. So after about 15 minutes of letting your dough rest, you're gonna come back and free it from the sides of the bin. To do this, wet your hand a bit and release the dough from the sides of the bin and press it into the center. And then you're gonna do that all around the sides of the bin until all sides are free and press into the center. And after doing that once, you're gonna do it 2 more times, once again in another 15 minutes, and then the last after 15 more minutes. So you're gonna do that a total of 3 times with 15-minute intervals. And then you're gonna leave your bread alone. You're gonna forget about it for 12 hours.
12 sleepless hours later.
So after about 12 hours of letting the dough rise on the counter at room temperature, it'll have about doubled. This is when we're gonna pre-shape. So you're gonna flour or grease your clean countertop. You're gonna place the dough on top of that flour or grease. So you're gonna start by lifting your dough from the edges and gently pressing the dough into the center to create a round shape. And then you're gonna flip it over and put a towel on top and let it sit there for 10 minutes, let it rest. Before you do your next round of shaping, you're gonna dust your lined brat form with some of that whole wheat flour and then do another round of shaping. This time I did the same thing as before, picking it up, pushing it into the center, and then I flipped it over and rolled the dough to create a nice tight round. And I gave it some love taps, and that's gonna collapse some of those air bubbles that form in the bread. And then you're gonna put it in the brat form seam side up and then let that sit in the fridge for another 12 hours to cold ferment.
The next morning.
It's been 24 hours since you started making this dough, and now we're gonna bake it. Preheat the oven to 500 degrees, and then once it's preheated, you're gonna put your Dutch oven in there for about 45 minutes to heat it up. After the 45 minutes, you're gonna take your dough out of the fridge and flip it onto some parchment paper. I used King Arthur's pre-cut, which makes it extremely easy. If you can't tell, kind of King Arthur stands here. I then score my dough, which I did horribly here, but whatever. And then I'm gonna turn the oven down to 450. I'm gonna put the dough into the Dutch oven and put a bit of water in between the parchment and the oven. I'm immediately going to put the lid on so the bread will steam in the oven. So after about 20 minutes of the bread baking, I'm gonna take the lid off and let it bake for another 20 to 25 minutes. And during that time, take a dance break if you need it. Clearly I did here, but literally making this is so fun. I feel like I'm back in the chemistry lab, especially with all the measuring we did at the beginning. It just speaks to my scientist core. By the time I was done with my horrible dancing, I had a loaf of sourdough. And now here's some cringy bread ASMR that no one asked for. All right, please ignore the hair. I have yet to shower from working out this morning, but I wanted to show you guys the bread. This is the inside, and oh my gosh, it's really good. It's my first time making it solo. Like I said, I did it with my dad a couple times. That really helped. And then I'll put the video I used in the description and the recipe as well. Pan de campagna is what it's technically called. And then I also have one with my classic cottage cheese, momofico chili crunch oil, and honey, and it's so good. My philosophy about food is it should nourish you, but it should also be enjoyable. So I'm not really like strict about what I eat, and I don't like diets, but I just eat until I'm satiated, and cooking has really helped, I feel like, my relationship with food be in a healthy place, and I'm really thankful for that. So this was a lot of fun. I don't think I'll ever buy store-bought bread again. My dad would always give me some of his when he'd make it, and I'd use that, and this just hits so much better than store-bought bread. So another great thing about cooking is that you can do it with the people you love. Like I said, I had been trialing this with my dad before I did it on my own, and he was the one who really taught me to cook, and I love him so much. I know you're watching, Dad. I love you. Anyways, I'm gonna eat my breakfast and get to work, and I'll give you guys updates on the chair and the picture. Peace. Alright, I'm back sooner than expected. I wanted to take another bite on camera. I saw this originally from Aliyah Zeta. I'm pretty sure I just totally butchered her last name, but I love her videos and it's so good. It's really filling too. Oh, and what I also wanted to say about the bread was that it really doesn't take that long. Like, it probably spanned like 24 hours total, but I was only like actively working for maybe like 20 to 30 minutes of that time. So it's not super labor intensive. So let's give it a bite. What works so well about this is you have the sour from the bread, the creamy from the cottage cheese, the spicy from the chili crunch from the bread and the chili crunch, and then the sweetness of the honey. Oh, it's phenomenal. My taste buds just love it. So I'm giving an update on the chair, and it's pretty much done. Like, you guys, look. We have the whole front. I'm obsessed with the color. It's gonna look so good in my room. Okay, it's actually been so long since I started working on this, and it's like finally gonna be done. I'm so excited to have it back in my room so I can read in it and like edit in it, and I'm so excited. So we just have to put the back piece on and then we're done. But I spent pretty much like all today. You can see like restapling this, stapling this, putting more fabric in there, so it's good to go. But oh, I'm so excited. I love the color. It's gonna go so much better than the red. I love this chair. It's like so big. I just love sitting in it, snuggling up in it, and reading a book. This is my favorite spot to read. Yay! I'm so excited it's gonna be done soon. Hello. This is the last step, and then the chair is complete. I feel like this has taken so long. All I have to do is staple this black part to the bottom to cover the fabric, and then I'm done, which is crazy. Let's get stapling. It's done. It feels so good to be done with this chair. I feel like I've been working on it for so long. Oh my goodness. And I'm just like really proud of myself. Obviously it's not perfect. Like there's a couple wrinkles in the fabric and it might just be the type of fabric, but I'm really happy with it. It's so comfy. I'm so excited to have my reading chair back, and this has been such a fun experience. Will I ever reupholster a chair again? I honestly don't know. It took so long, but at least like now I know how to do it. So like if I want to in the future, I definitely can. I brought back my sewing skills from high school when I was in the class called Sew Fun. Yeah, this has overall been such a fun experience, and I'm so happy to have my chair back. Eee! And then, so for my other hobbies I did in this video, I have an update on my painting, and it's not even close to being done. Like, this is what it looks like, you guys. I still have a lot to do, and I am going to be working on it whenever I have free chances. We'll probably update on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, you definitely should. And yeah, this video has been so fun to make. It's been fun to rediscover hobbies, and I hope this has inspired you guys to maybe pick up something that you haven't in a while, or try something new that you've been thinking about. Thank you for coming along this journey. It's been a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!